Hey guys, day 2. Day 2 is really a review of what we've already learned. So, take a look. It says if there are 3 terms, so 1, 2, 3, we call that a trinomial. Trinomial has 3 terms. Maybe a quiz question. When the number in front of the x is 1, well, this should be the number in front of the x squared is 1. That would be this number right here in front. Factor mentally. Okay, so we're going to factor this mentally. So remember in the past, we use the x factor. Okay, so these are set up to factor mentally. Now, if you have to use the x, then you have to use the x. But let's see if we can get good at this. So, breaking this up, how do we get x squared? X and x. So now we think. 2 numbers that multiply to give us 36 and add to give us 15. So here's our multiplier. Here they need to add. So 1 and 36, 2 and 18, close. 3 and 12. There you go. 3 times 12 is 36. 3 plus 12 is 15. Now remember, this only works when the a value is a 1 and we can find the numbers. So positive and positive. So those are your 2 factors, factored completely. Let's take a look at 12. A little bit harder. Okay. Same thing applies. The a value is 1, so we can just split up that x squared right away. So 2 numbers that multiply to give us 14 and add to give us negative 9. Well, 7 and 2 will give us 14. Okay? But we want the middle number to be negative 9. So we're going to do negative 7 and negative 2. Negative 7 times negative 2? 14. Negative 7 plus negative 2 is negative 9. Okay? So that's why it says to factor mentally. Remember, multiply to give you the last number and add to give us the middle number. This only works when the a value is a 1. Let's take a look at 13. Let's see. So the x squared breaks up to x times x. Now 22. 1 and 22? No. 2 and 11? Yep. 2 and 11. 2 and 11. 2 times 11. Now, my middle number is positive, so guess the bigger number gets the positive, the smaller number gets the negative. Negative 2 plus 11 is 9. Negative 2 times 11 is negative 22. Let's take a look at 14. So, early release day today. How exciting. Here we go. Why don't I let you grapple with that one for a little bit. Let's see if you can come up with that mentally. A lot of negatives involved, so we'll see. Okay, let's move down to the last section here. Factor each of the following completely. So, you know, you have some choices, guys. You have some choices. What we've learned so far is how to use the x to factor. Okay? Specifically, when it's an x squared term. Now, since this is x cubed, we can't use the x factor. The x factor only works on quadratics. Okay? Then we also learned the difference of two squares. So if the first term is a perfect square, and it's subtraction, and the last number is a perfect square, we learned we can do this. Break the x up. The square root of 25 is 5. Break the 5's up. 1 add, 1 subtract. And then finally, we talked about factoring out a number out of both terms, or a letter, or both. So in this case, we could factor out a 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1x. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So we have some tools in our toolbox. So when you look at this, you may say, I'm going to use the x factor. Or you might say, they're all divisible by 3. So it just depends on what you see. It's obviously not the difference of two squares. Let's go ahead and bring that 3 out first. So remember, when factoring means dividing to find the remaining factor. The remaining factor. That's the operation that we use. We divide. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 24 divided by 3 is 8. And 45 divided by 3 is 15. Now, you might think you're done, but you're not. Notice what's remaining. We still have a quadratic. It's 3 terms. Hey, let's try factoring mentally. Why? Well, the number in front of x squared, is 1. Is that true here? The number in front of the x squared is 1? Yep, it's a 1. So let's try factoring mentally. So the x squared breaks up. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 plus 3 is 8. All of them are positive. And there you go. Completely. Notice the directions. Because if you would have stopped here, you have not factored it completely. Okay, let's take a look at 16. Okay. Notice we have a negative on the front. We don't want that. We don't want that. Are they all divisible by what? What could we factor out? Let's factor out a negative 5. Okay? Could we take an x out of each one? Yeah. Here we have 3 of them. Here we have 2 of them. And here we have 1 of them. So the most we can take is just 1. Okay. Dividing 1. Dividing x squared. Remember, 3 minus 1 is 2. Dividing. 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 And dividing. So I divided all these terms by negative 5x. Negative 5x is a factor, and this trinomial is a factor. Any bells going off here? The a value is a 1. It's a trinomial. It's quadratic. Let's try to factor this mentally. Now, you can always revert to the x factor if you cannot do this mentally. X squared breaks up. Let's see. 1 and 24? No. 2 and 12? Yes. This one's tricky because there's a couple. 2 and 12 and 4 and 6. which is it going to be? I think I'm going to go with the 2 and the 12. Notice the middle term is negative, so the bigger number gets the negative, the smaller number gets the positive. 6 and 4, would that work? Let's try it. Four and 6. Well, -4 and -6 make 24 when you multiply. -4 and -6 when you add them, they make -10. Now, did anybody catch the error? One of these is wrong. Which one is wrong? Is it the first one? Is it the second one? And why did you choose it? So one of these is wrong. Either this one's wrong or this one's wrong. They both are not right. Okay? Let's see. Let's look down at number 17. You see that minus? You should automatically ask yourself, is this a difference of 2 squares? Let's see. Well, 10 times 10 is 100. 11 times 11 is 121. No, that's not a perfect square. That's definitely not a perfect square. So, it is quadratic. We could do the x factor. Or, we could think, is there a number that I could factor out of both of these terms? Well, the one that comes to my mind first is a 5. 5 goes into 125, 25 times. 5 goes into 80, 16 times. Any bells going off at this point? Because this is not factored completely. Yes, we did find a factor of this binomial, and it is 5. But is this factored completely? What can we do here? So let me let you finish that one. And number 18, I'll give you a hint. We have to do something with that -3 on number 18. Hope you guys are having a great evening. I'll see you tomorrow. That might be on the quiz tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe, maybe not.